does arcraiders have game-based matchmaking analysis from 50 minutes of arcraiders, made by Sarah Squeaks. That is me. TLDR, if you just want the quick and easy of it, yeah, I think so. I mean, statistically speaking, from the evidence I've gathered, there's at least a minimal form of it. Excluding Stella when I ran a free loadout, 36% of people were also running free loadouts. And when I didn't run a free loadout, 22% of people ran them. And then, when we look solely at Stella, which I'm sure you could guess has a lot of free loadouts, which I, kind of wanted to keep separate. When I ran a free loadout, 69% of people were also running them, and when I didn't run a free loadout, 56% of people were running them. Now, while this does show that evidently there is a bit of a difference, it does show that even if you are running something like a free loadout or a hugely expensive kit, you still might run into the other one. I mean, again, when I was fucking playing damn Battlegrounds or something, and I just ran a free loadout, only 36% of people were also running free loadouts. I was at the disadvantage most of my games. Now, if that's all you want to see, that's all you want to know, then go ahead, you can leave. But if you want to know about the stats and specific methodology that I use, then stick around. Now, the methodology. Now, basic methods generally just involve me going around and shooting everybody. If I heard a gunshot, I'd go straight to it. If I saw someone extracting or heard someone extracting, I'd go down there and I'd try and kill them. Scummy, whatever. I needed to get the data, right? So the way I used, or what I used to figure this out, was I just either checked the augments the person had, or I saw who killed me, or who shot at me. For example, if someone has a Stitcher 4, or a Venator 4, or something, then somebody in that lobby paid for that. They paid for it, they brought it in, and therefore, that was a paid loadout. Now, it could have technically not been the person who killed me, but regardless, still somebody had a paid loadout, so I still marked that off. Now, obviously, can't get everybody, and that's sort of why I use percentages instead of using numbers, which, as you will see in a second, has some huge outliers, there can be some huge unlucky sections, and there's a lot of times where I just killed a lot of people who had a single augment, which I highly doubt was everybody in that lobby. I highly doubt everybody in that lobby was solely running a certain augment. But that is what it would show in that, specific data set. So now let's go to the data sets. Now, what's my proof for this? Let's start with the non-stellar raids. Now, firstly, on the left here, we have the just the numbers. So as you can see here, I would have 2 free loadouts that I would have found when I was running a free loadout, as they're designated here. When I was running a free loadout, I ran into 2 free loadouts and 2 non-free loadouts. As you can see here, the free loadouts are blue and the non-free loadouts are red. Now, obviously, there's a lot. You can just go around, check all of them if you want to, if you're interested in specifically which ones. But if you look specific at the numbers, when I was running a free loadout, 14 people were also running free loadouts, and 16 people were not, which equates to 46% of the people I met and killed, or killed me, were running free loadouts. And then when I wasn't running a free loadout, 9 people were running free loadouts, and 39 people were not, which equates to 19%. Now, if you're curious why I didn't just look at this whenever I went into the numbers, it was mainly because of things like this. These huge outliers that just existed, these huge fucking numbers, which I don't think is really equatable. Obviously, this one time, there probably was a lot of people in that server with them, but chances are I probably just ran into a lot of people with non-free loadouts. Because chances are, whenever I'm not running a free loadout, I'm going to be killing more people. I'm going to be going around, more people are going to be willing to fight if they don't have a free loadout. And so generally, I'm going to be killing more people as well, and more people are going to be trying to kill me without free loadout. So it's a bit unfair to say that, oh, every person in this lobby, there's 11 people in my lobby, and all of them didn't have free loadouts, which probably isn't true. There's probably a couple guys out there that are probably scampering around with their free loadouts, and I wasn't able to get them. So I don't think it's fair that this matters so much more than something like this. But that is why I went to the percentages, which, as you can see here, the 2 and the 2 would have equated to 50%. And then right here, this 11% would have just equated to 100%. Which I think is a lot fair. I think it's a lot fair to look at it in a percentage base. But even with the percentage base, when I was running a free loadout, 36% of people I fought would have free loadouts. And when I wasn't doing free, 22%. Now, obviously, this is a bit of a difference. 46 to 19 and 36 to 22. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's still, you could still see a difference. There is clearly a difference, a 14% difference in this, and, I don't know, I'm not, 20 something. It's a pretty big difference, like 20, 30, I think it's like 29, something like that, right? 27? Yeah, I don't know, something. Point being, this is a pretty big difference comparatively to this. But at the same time, they both show the same pattern. If you are bringing a free loadout, you will be fighting more people who have free loadouts. And if you aren't bringing one, you will be fighting more people who do not have one. Now, let's go into the next slide with Stellamontis, which I will show you why I kind of kept it separate. Now, if you look here, I kind of moved him a little bit because it just made it easier. Again, free loadout is blue and non-free is red. When we look at specifically the numbers, you can see a huge difference. Look at how many free loadouts there is. Even when I wasn't running a free loadout, you can see these huge number changes. Now, if we look at the free loadout specifically, I ran into 35 people also running free loadouts and 14 people not running them, which equates to 71% of people having free loadouts. When I wasn't running a free loadout, 30 people were running free loadouts still, and 21 people were not, which equates to 58% of people running free loadouts, even when I wasn't running a free loadout. That's a lot of saying loadout, but you can see the numbers. Now, when I did the statistics, which I, again, think is a fair way to look at it, 69% of people were running free loadouts when I ran a free loadout, and 56% of people were running a free loadout while I wasn't. Now, if you know Stellamontis, it just makes sense. I mean, most people are not going to be running these huge, I'm going to run a Venator 4, an Anvil 4, a Tempest 4, because it just doesn't make sense, right? You go in there, people are going to fight you, and you're probably going to die. So it makes sense to go bring in a free loadout so you have nothing to lose. Which does paint a picture on something, though. I believe Arcraiders does have a sort of gear-based matchmaking, but I believe it still prioritizes just getting you in the match quickly. And it probably also prioritizes aggression-based matchmaking, which is a whole different story, which is something that can be easily proven if you just do it yourself. But point being, it probably looks at other things first before looking at the gear. Because even in the not, look at this. I was not running a free loadout, and every single person I was going against was a free loadout. I had 8 kills. All of those were free people. Well, not 8 kills. I found 8 dead bodies. I probably killed a good amount of them, but regardless, point being, 8 of those people that I found were only running free loadouts, which is pretty crazy. When even over at the free loadouts, there was times where only people were running, not free loadouts. 3 people were not running them, where I found at least 3 people like that, which paints a picture that I think Stellamontis is a huge margin, and I think it proves that while there is gear-based matchmaking, it does look at other things. It's not the sole thing. And even here, I mean, look at this. Even if we're looking directly at the numbers, which should have a way bigger difference, 71 to 58, and then 69 to 56, that's really not that big of a difference. That's really not a huge difference comparatively. I mean, that's, what, like 13%, and this is, they're the same. Those are the same. Those are both 13%, which is kind of crazy. But you would think the numbers would have a much larger difference comparatively to the percentage. But no, they're the exact same. Am I doing my math right? Probably. Don't correct me if I'm not. But point being, there still is a pattern here. Like 34 to 14 and 20 to 21 and then 69 to 56. This is a pretty evident pattern. I mean, you can even look at the chart. Look at this. Look, you see a good amount of blue, couple reds. Red, 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 red. I mean, you can see these huge differences in these, which, again, has a small sample size, but I think this points a pretty clear picture when you see this happening over and over again, regardless of the charts, regardless of the maps I'm running. Now, obviously, I do have some limitations with this. I cannot kill everybody, and there are probably times where I got very unlucky, killed a couple people with free loadouts when everybody else in the lobby was just running paid, vice versa. There's also a chance that some of the guns that killed me or shot me were found in raid. A level 4 gun dropping is rare, but it's not impossible. Someone could have looted a raider cache and got a level 4 Venator. I mean, it's really unlucky, or it'd be really lucky for them, and it'd be really unlucky on my part, but it's entirely possible. I mean, or even it could have been a level 3. I probably counted a level 3 in some of these examples, but regardless, it's possible. And there is obviously a small sample size. I only had 50 to work with. I will be doing more after the expedition, because I think that would be a good time to check everything. But point being, that is, again, it is a small sample size. And this is also right before an expedition. So results could be kind of skewed, given people are just trying to get, their expedition up, their value up. Though you would think that it would be skewed further towards free loadouts. Especially given the fact that, people want to risk less. But I'm not, I don't fully get it, but whatever. I never went to Spaceport. You can check my data in the description, which I will be showing. which has every single example I had, every single map I went to, the size I played it, some more variables I didn't include here. I never went to Spaceport. I hate that map. I think it's a camper-heavy map, so I never went to it, especially on free loadout, because I think that would have been god-awful. But, obviously, maybe there could have been a little differing amount there. My analysis is anecdotal best. I could have been affected by aggression-based matchmaking instead of gear-based, which, in case you don't know, aggression-based matchmaking implies that the more aggressive you are, if you're a solo player, the more aggressive people you will fight, which is possible. It is possible that whenever I was doing non-free loadouts, I was killing a lot more people, so it was putting me in aggressiver and more aggressive lobbies. Entirely plausible, but I think the data still shows that there is a bit of a correlation. And there is possible other variables I did include, such as my squad size, which you can see in the document I provided in the description, which is, it has my squad size, has the time. There's a lot of other variables that could have possibly been in there. You know, I played at different times. Sometimes I played at 9 p.m., sometimes I played at 1 p.m., etc. So I do think, technically speaking, there is some differences that I could have possibly varied this, but I do think, still, from the small sample size that I have, I do think that this is what is happening. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to discuss my findings, you can always just message me at fn5.7 on Discord. Comment on the video, you know, do whatever. I will try to clear up whatever. I mean, obviously, I'm sure there's something I messed up here. I am not foolproof. These are definitely not foolproof findings. It is just what I found. And if you have any objections or think that I'm wrong, think that I'm right, think that there's something you found or whatever, please let me know. I would love to, you know, discuss this further. I would love to look in this further. It's something that interests me. That's why I did it. I did it because I was like sitting there and I was thinking, I wonder if there is a correlation, right? Because I swear, personally, I felt like I was getting into more geared lobbies when I was geared. And I think that that is found. And as I said earlier, I will be leaving the original document where I recorded all my data and took all my graphs in the description. You can look at it. You can edit it. I don't think you can edit it, like, it's not like a Google Doc or anything. It's just you download it on your computer and then you can edit it yourself on your computer. But point being, it's all there. You can see everything I did. I have it all laid out. I think the first couple data points don't have the exact time because I didn't start counting the time until after. But you can still see the majority of it. You can see where I estimated in the times there. But everything else is completely set to exactly what I was doing, the exact amount of people I killed, the exact value I brought in, which I don't think really matters too much. I think to me it just matters if below, like above a certain threshold. For example, like if you just run a free loadout, I assume it's probably a threshold of like 10k or something, maybe. But my point is, I don't think there's like, if you're like running a 200k loadout, you're gonna get other 200k people, because that would just be absurd. There's not that many people who are running $200,000 worth of fucking equipment, right? Most people are probably just running, if anything, like 30k, 20k, 40k, right? So that's probably what it'll place you with. That is my assumption. Obviously, that's a pretty hefty assumption, but I believe it's something that makes sense. If you think that that matters, if you think that running 200k worth of stuff is something that actually affects it, I'd love to see that. I didn't really have the money for that, given I'm trying to finish my expedition, but obviously, if you are someone who has that kind of money, then go ahead, do it. Let me see. I'd love to see how that affects it. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for seeing this video, and thank you for getting all the way to the end. Goodbye.